Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can already see on the screen. If you are going to do a bit of business in 2023, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. This is your preview show looking ahead to Saturday's home game at the Den against Swansea City. 4 points from our last two games. Things are not looking too bad in my opinion. However, the injuries are starting to pile up in SE16. As always, let's kick off the show by taking a look at the 11 that Gary Rowett's got to pick from to start the match. Okay, so as I said, the injuries are numbering up in the Calmont Road physio room. Sean Hutchinson, not sure how long he's out for, but we know he's not going to be in contention for this game. Goalkeeper Matija Sarkic is out for around 12 weeks. You've also got George Honeyman, who's been out since pre-season, but could be back in contention for this game. Murray Wallace announced unfit for this game during the week, along with Tom Bradshaw. Both will be injured until the international break. And then there's Kevin Nisbet, of course, limps out the game against Rotherham, and we've not had a lot of news on that. However, it isn't as bad as first feared. So as it stands, in my opinion, we do not have a fit, available first teamer as a striker at the club. Let's look at the starting 11, then I want to get into that a little bit more. I'm going to go with the starting 11 that I would pick to start this match, and also I'll give you the 11 that I think Rowett will pick to start the match. Let's start on my 11. It'll be Barkowski in goal. Centre-backs, Cooper, Harding and Leonard. I'll go with Joe Bryan, left wing-back, Norton Cuffy, right wing-back, Casper De Norton, George Saville in the centre midfield, and then up front, Longman left, Watmore right, and Maku through the middle. Let's take a look at the 11 that I think he'll go with. And there it is, Barkowski in goal, Cooper, Harding and Leonard, three centre-backs. Norton Cuffy right, Joe Bryan left, Campbell and the North central midfielders, and I think he'll go with Longman, Watmore, and I think he'll go with Fleming through the middle. Of course, did score his first goal against Rotherham. Fleming, maybe not full of confidence after that penalty miss at West Brom, but I think he'll go with experience. A lot of you saying we've got to start a Maku. I am of that thinking as well. I don't see any issue with it. I think he's more than proved himself and he's worthy of a start. So here's my thinking behind it. Back in the day, you'd have 4-4-2 and you'd have two out-and-out strikers. In this day and age, of course, formation and football has changed. So you'll have one out-and-out striker, which is a 9. That's an out-and-out centre-forward. And then you'll have a 10 in behind that and two wide men who back in the day would have been regarded as wingers. They're now regarded as wide strikers. In my thoughts, Tom Bradshaw and Kevin Nisbet are out-and-out number 9s. I wouldn't put Idemo Maku in that bracket at the minute because he's young and I think he's been signed as more of a wide striker, if you like. I wouldn't say he's an out-and-out 9. However, I do feel that he could be in time. He's definitely got the power. He's definitely got the pace. Maybe, his aerial and hold-up play might not be there yet. I'm not saying it isn't. We just haven't seen him play in that role. But I would start nurturing him into that role if I was Gary Rowett. I think that as it is right here, right now, he isn't, in my opinion, an out-and-out centre-forward. I would say he's more of a wide man. But listen, again, I think our whole season is going to be a reflection of the last 3 results. Lose to Leeds, beat Rotherham, and then draw against West Brom. Win 1, lose 1, draw 1. I think that's going to be us this season. I don't think we're going to go down. We're definitely not going up, in my opinion. So I wouldn't have a problem with it. Straight away, playing Maku, say to fans, look, we can't get anyone in. Missed out on Kiefer Moore transfer deadline day. We haven't got any out-and-out fit strikers at the club. So I'm going to go over Maku. We're going to give him 5-10 games. I don't think anyone would have an issue with that. However, I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll go with Fleming through the middle. Has played there before in the past for Fortuna Sittard. And I think that's what he'll go with. I'd like to see Longman further up the pitch. Norton Cuffy, for me, is fine going forward, although he does sort of he sort of stumbles through players. I think his defensive work's got a little bit to be desired, and we may have to do a little bit more defending against Swansea. Hopefully we don't. But I'd keep him in. I'd bring Brian Black in all day long for his experience and how calm he is on the ball. He's a good player in this division. That's been proven. So I'd definitely have him in, and I'll push Ryan Longman further up the pitch. I think he can be very dangerous. He is dangerous playing from out of position at left wing back. So I think even further up the pitch, he'd be very, very dangerous. And I just drop Fleming out. To make a point really more than anything, I don't think Fleming played well against Rotherham. I don't think he was at it against West Brom. It's not a witch hunt trying to get him out of the club. I would just play the in-form players. And I would play Longman further up the pitch. And I'd play Maku as a centre-forward. It might look ideal on paper. but sometimes we are a little bit predictable, and I think that the power of surprise could definitely work, especially, you know, the young players, Longman and Maku, get the fans behind them early at the Den, and I definitely think it could work to our advantage at the back. I think he's got to bring Harding in. I've only seen Harding come on against Birmingham, and I like what I saw. Again, out-and-out defender, but he's very pacey, and he can, you know, help us rectify the errors there may be at the back. Also, of course, Campbell. I'm not having him at the minute. I'm just not having him. I really liked him as a player at Luton. I was excited when I thought we was going to get him ahead of Luton from Motherwell, but he went to them, and when he come to us on loan again on deadline day, that was a really exciting one for me. But at the minute, he has just not got going. He'd give away constant free kicks against West Brom, and then said to the ref, you know, what are you talking about, when there was clearly all blatant fouls. And I just bring George Saville back in for a little bit of experience. He's had a little rest now following his international duty, and I put him alongside Casper. Denor, what will he do? Well, it waits to be seen, but it's going to be interesting to see who he does play up front. Let's move on to our opposition, Swansea City. Managed by Michael Duff, of course. He came in this summer after his playoff final failure with Barnsley when he was beaten by Sheffield Wednesday, and he has taken the helm following the departure of their old manager, whose name is escaping me right now. Looks like the geezer out of Spencer FC, and he's gone to Southampton. He's not doing too well. I'm going to say Russ something. I don't know if that's right. Anyway, look, moving back to Swansea. They haven't had the best start to the season. They have lost 3, won 1, and drawn 1 of their previous 5 league games. However, they did win last time out, although it was against Sheffield Wednesday, a 3-0 thumping at the Liberty Stadium, and they picked up a point previous to that. So he's hoping to steer them back in the right direction. They are back on track, 4 points from their last 2 games, exactly the same as us. Now they've got to come away from the Liberty Stadium to the Den. They currently sit 1 place above the relegation zone in 21st place on 6 points, 5 points behind us in 11th. So as I said in my video the other day, all I'm ever doing at the start of the season is looking down and trying to bridge that gap between the relegation zone. So if we do get 3 points against Swansea on Saturday at the Den, it will open up a nice little gap for us, and maybe then start having a little bit of a look up. Well, I'm not overly confident on that front. Let's move on to a prediction. And so this is your pre-match prediction, and here we go. I've got 2 out of the last 3 predictions spot on. 0-0 West Bromwich Albion and 1-1 away at Birmingham with Kevin Nisbet to score the first goal. I didn't bet on either of those. The only one I did bet on was the Leeds home loss, and I said we was going to beat Leeds. Of course, I think that was more hope than confidence. But I'm going for a win this Saturday at the Den by 2 goals to 1. I'm going to go for Idemo and Maku to start the game and score. I know I just said I don't think Rout will start him, but again, I'm hoping. And I'm also going to go for Casper Denor to get his first goal at the Den and at the club in a 2-1 win, which will put us in a nice position before we travel to Plymouth, which I'll be going to as well on Tuesday. And so that's your lot for this preview show. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, we'll be live streaming from the Den around 2:40 p.m. on Saturday. If you can't make the Den, if you're an expat, if you've hurt your leg, if you just can't be bothered to travel, then I will call you through the 90 minutes, the only fan channel, to my knowledge, in existence that gives you live matchday commentary direct from, in our case, the Den. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions!